So Daniel, I want to understand a bit about the sector as a whole, the social care sector, and where it's been on a digital journey and where it finds itself now. So go on, tell me, where do we find the social care sector right now in terms of digitalization?
I think we're lucky to be in this time, actually,
Yeah.
Geraint,
Yeah.
because this is the time where there's the flowering of new technology and new ways of caring for people, helping people live a better quality of life, which is what we're all about in care. So in a way, it's become more complicated because there's now so much more choice of how we can use technology to improve care for people. And that's the great responsibility we have now with the flowering of new technology, that we can actually make better choices for people. And I want to be in this position where we can actually lead our health colleagues as well, because we have no legacy. We could actually create new ways of using technology to help people live better lives. And that's what the CareTech Guide is all about.
That's fascinating. So yeah, we know very well, don't we? Historically, the sector's been serviced by a few large software vendors. That's changed. We're seeing more and more come through. I'm seeing new digital care planning products come on the market monthly. We've got a load of different assistive technologies coming into the sector now. So I think you're right. There's far more choice than there's ever been before. Do care providers necessarily know where to start?
No. And for me, you've hit the nail on the head. There's a phrase where the barriers to entry are lowering. It is easy to have new technology, to access new technology, and for people to purpose it in different ways. Therefore, people don't know where to start. It's getting this objective view of what could this do for me? How can I use this? And people need to see what's out there, how other people are using it. While care providers are sometimes in competition with each other, there's this thing about playing together, about understanding what another person is doing, see how I could purpose that for me and for the people that I'm caring for in our service. And I think that's where we come in and saying, you can look at it like this way, but I've actually used it in unintended consequences. And so with unintended consequences, the vendor didn't see, I've actually made my service a lot better. So for example, I'm looking at certain sensor technology, which is actually monitoring people. And one of the unintended consequences is that by not intruding on people's lives so much, they can actually sleep better, which is such an important part of quality of life.
So what about this challenge that I've seen time and time again in social care organizations where, so I suppose the phrase is run before you walk. I've seen a lot of organizations, perhaps driven by FOMO, fear of missing out. They're seeing products being used in similar organizations and they're running at them. I've seen products like digital care planning or rostering being procured when there's no tablet technology or Wi-Fi in the building. I'm seeing large amounts of money being spent on HR payroll systems when, they bought a system that's great for banking, doesn't translate brilliantly into our sector, which is very complex. Do we have optimism for the future? Do we think it's going to get better?
We definitely do. I mean, I definitely do. I think what you're saying, one of the things I take from what you're saying is take a step back, read. Every care organization, every care operation has its own character, and you have to stay true to that character. So if you're building a technological base, let it build from your own character. Looking at the market of vendors and people trying to sell you things, just say, this is our operation, this is the way we want to treat people, how's that going to fit into the strategy of the technology? If I want rostering technology, I want it to fit into how my staff are talking. So the build-up is very important. Involve people, involve the stakeholders, involve the families, involve your workers, involve your care teams, involve the board, involve everyone in getting their views, because everyone's views are valid. And then you can try and triangulate that into what's best for the person and the person at the end who we're caring for.
That makes perfect sense. You've got to understand what you're trying to solve, what you're trying to achieve, ask people, include everyone. I think you'll like this one. So I'm quite passionate about shiny new tech. I do like the latest technologies. That is exciting, particularly the stuff we haven't invented yet. That's the good stuff. But I sit in front of board of directors sometimes, and I've got these flashy slides with robotics on and machine learning and all these cool things. And I finish my spiel, and then someone puts their hand up and say, "But Geraint, we can't pay everyone right yet. But Geraint, we have a problem with medication. Can you just help with that, please? Can you just help with this? So yeah, that being distracted by perhaps what you're hearing, because the sector, do you agree, is talking tech more than it ever has?
Yes. I think it definitely is.
And there's a danger in that you will be distracted by shiny things. You will see what someone else is doing down the road. Terminology, do you think everyone gets EMR and things like that? Do you think it's become common language?
I think it is now. And I think what people are taking on board is we're not recreating what we did in analog. We're not just recreating that in digital format. What digital and technology is doing is helping us create innovating in new ways of caring for people. So that's one of the new things for me. So in a way, people need this outside view. They need to look at their organization, involve the stakeholders, the board, the care teams, the team managers. But they also need to look outside and think, how is this all going to come together for our service? So and also when you're choosing the different bits of technology, you've got to think how they're going to link in. And that's one of the things I think the caretaker guy can actually be working on. How does this fit in with the rostering technology? Because people are realizing, I was hearing yesterday that someone is using travel expenses as a way to check on people's times and hours. So they're triangulating those.
The date on the receipt.
Exactly. Really interesting how this gives, but it's a double check.
Yeah.
And then new technology, which was actually intended for people for people's care, it's actually helping them train the staff teams about how they care, because they can see and feel how they're caring for people, and they have more information to be able to feed back into training as well. So all these bits are taken into account.
Exciting times.
Very exciting times.